And we're back here at Bridgewater College at the 9th inning. It's tied 3-3. 10 hits for the Maroons, 8 hits for the Eagles in this exciting first game of a doubleheader to start off conference play for both teams. We have a pitching change here for the Eagles as they try to hold on to this tie. Eagles have not allowed a run since the second inning when they allowed all 3 of Roanoke's runs. Pitching for the Eagles is Johnny Lavoie. He has 2 appearances this season. He's only pitched 2 innings. He's only pitched 2 innings this season, and he is a senior out of Ashland, Virginia. This is probably his biggest inning so far of the season that he's seen as he tries to preserve this tie as Gavin Kandrick is up. Inside for ball 2. Lavoie finds the strike zone for the first time of his outing. Swung hard, fouled off for Kandrick. Kandrick getting the start behind the plate today. He's been on point as catcher for the Roanoke Maroons. Provided a stable voice behind there as they've changed their pitchers 4 times in the past 2 innings as Bridgewater's staged this rally. But it is all tied up. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes for Lavoie. 3 balls, 2 strikes for Lavoie. And he walks the first batter he sees, and some action in the bullpen for the Eagles. Might see another pitching change real soon as Sean Guida, the key player for the Maroons. Guida hitting .400 on the season, 1 for 4 today. And Lavoie tries to pick off. Lavoie high for ball 1. Lavoie's thrown 5 balls to 2 strikes right now throughout this outing. As 2 pitchers are warming up in the bullpen. One's probably the starter for the next game. And one's probably going to come in for relief for Lavoie soon as he throws another ball. Not the outing Lavoie wanted to see today. 2 innings pitched on his season. As he comes in the biggest inning of the Eagles' season so far as they start conference play, trying to start on the right foot. Lavoie hits Guida. Guida takes his base. No outs. Runners on second and first. And Kendall comes out to talk. Lavoie, after facing 2 batters, walks 1, hits the other. His time might be over. It is, as Kendall puts Lavoie back to the dugout after facing 2 pitchers. That's number 31. Tucker Garrison comes in. Garrison, a 5.79 ERA. 1 loss to his name in his 4 appearances. 4.2 innings pitched. He's allowed 4 hits and 3 earned runs on his season. As Garrison's going to try and get himself out of this jam that Lavoie put him into. Runners on second and first. Huge opportunity for the Maroons to break this lead. Tie. Ellis will be the first batter Garrison faces.
Batting for Roanoke will be number 9, Scott
Ellis. Ellis only 3 RBIs on the season. Can push that to 4 or even 5 right now. So he has 2 runners on. Go ahead run on second. Garrison, left-handed pitcher. Same as Chad Lenz. Roanoke had some problems with the other left-handed pitcher they saw in Chad Lenz as Ellis tries to lay down the bunt. Ball 1 as Ellis was able to pull up from that bunt. Lays down another bunt, and King falls back, tries to make a incredible catch. A heads-up play by King, unable to rally that one in. Throws his mitt down in anger. 1 strike, 1 ball, no outs, as Ellis is determined to lay down this bunt. Two balls, 1 strike. Ellis determined to lay down this bunt and move his runners to second and third as another fouled off bunt. 2 strikes, 2 balls, no outs. Big opportunity for a double play here. Ellis knocks that down the first base sideline for foul. Ellis has ditched his bunt attempts here as he has 2 strikes, looking now to just get the ball down and move the runners over and give them an opportunity with only 1 or even no outs if he can get on. Ellis plays that over. Can't be grounded. Morgan was there, could have hit the 4-6-3 double play, but instead can't grab it. And so instead of getting at double play and 2 outs, we have bases loaded for Garrison. No outs. Will American up. And a huge opportunity for Roanoke here. A flyout scores at least one. Depending on the placement of a ground out, could score one. Really, Garrison's got to lock down and get a couple strikeouts here as he pitches that first for a strike. High pressure situation for Garrison as the next pitch is a ball. Two balls, one strike. High for ball three. Can't throw another ball. A walk results in a run and breaks the tie. Three balls, one strike, no outs, bases loaded. A big strike for Garrison. Three balls, two strikes. And Lowe breaks the tie with that walk. Kendrick comes home. Bases still loaded. Guida on third. Ellis on second. American on first.
Now batting, Jack Howard.
Jack Howard out to bat. He's had a couple big hits today. Looks to continue that right now and push this lead even more as another ball thrown. Garrison can't find the strike zone. As Roanoke up 4-3. First score they've had since the second inning. Couldn't have come at a better time. Outside for ball two. First strike of this at bat. Roanoke bats have come alive this inning. Actually, they've done this with no hits. Gotten on base by virtue of walks, errors, and hit by pitches. Something the Eagles really couldn't afford here. They've shut down the bats of Roanoke, but mental errors have created this lead for the Maroons. As that is inside, another walk, another score, 5-3 Maroons. No outs. Bases still loaded. That's the day for Garrison. as we've seen. Six pitchers for the Eagles today. 5 for the Maroons. 4 of the Maroons pitchers coming in the last 2 innings. And now pitching for the Eagles. Number 16, Jordan Showalter has a 7.3 ERA, 12.1 innings pitched. The most experienced pitcher, third most experienced pitcher on staff between DeWalt and Barry. Barry likely starter next game, as Showalter has allowed 10 earned runs this season. 7 strikeouts, 4 walks. He's allowed 3 doubles and 1 home run. Looks to bounce back here and stop the bleeding. Up to bat now, Will Salva, the first batter that Showalter here will face. Showalter, a senior out of Turner Ashby, a local product from right here in Bridgewater, Virginia. His first pitch is a strike, something that hasn't been seen much this inning. Fouled back for the second strike. High for ball 2. Eagles fought back to tie this game just last inning. And now, without a hit, the Maroons have scored 2. As that's drilled back to Meade. Meade chases it down, gets 1, throws it in, but is still able to score. Scott Ellis. 3 this inning for the Maroons, and only 1 out. Good sack fly there by Will Salva to drive Ellis home. Took Bridgewater 8 innings to score 3 runs. And as of right now, they need 1 half inning to score 3 more to tie this one up.
Now batting, number 38, Will Smith.
And now batting for Roanoke, number 38, a pinch hitter, Will Smith, as he swings and misses. A freshman from Norwich, Vermont. Went to Hanover High School in New Hampshire. Will Smith on the season, a 200 batter. He's only been at bat 10 times, and now his 11th at bat comes in the top of the 9th inning, as the Maroons have pushed their lead to 3 after the Eagles were able to draw it even last inning. Showalter making sure Howard doesn't get too big of a lead there. Another big swing and a miss by Smith for the second strike. Two strikes, no balls. Showalter keeping Howard in check over at first. Three runs in this inning, no hits. As Showalter continues to keep Howard in check. Outside for ball one. Close call there. However, unable to get it in just enough, right outside the edge of home plate. And another swing and a miss. Foul tip. Balked, actually, after all of that. All runners advance a base, and that sends the runner on third home. That's 4 runs off of no hits this inning. One ball, 2 strikes. We're trying this one again with Will Smith at the plate. After that balk by Showalter, scored 1 for the Maroons. They've now scored 4 runs off of no hits in the top of the 9th. As it's a foul tip, forcing Jack Howard to go back to second after he advanced from first to second after that balk. Smith fouls that one off to keep this at-bat alive. When the Eagles needed some stellar defensive play to get them out of this inning, they've made a couple costly errors that have resulted in 4 runs off a couple walks, a hit by pitch, an error, and a balk. As Showalter tries to get Will Smith out, but throws a ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Only 1 out. The good news is right now, after having loaded bases almost all inning, only 1 runner on, for the Maroons. Inside, ball 3. And Smith drives that to center. Meade tracks it, able to get to it, catch it out, but Howard advances to third. And now Eli Sumter, the second baseman for the Maroons, up to bat. After a quick discussion between umpire and Kendall. Sumter swings at the first pitch he sees. Meade tracks that one down and gets the Eagles out of this inning. No hits, but 4 runs still scored by the Maroons. Something you don't see very often.
In the top of the 9th inning, they scored 4 runs on no hits. 1 error and 1 runner left on base.
Now the Eagles, after a solid first 8 innings of play, were able to tie it up at 3. They're able to tie it up at 3, and then an abysmal 9th inning pushed the Maroons' lead to 4. It is now 7-3 as Sal Tranucci comes back out to pitch this inning. The Eagles need a strong offensive output here in this inning to give them a chance, something they're capable of. However, it will be hard against this second-ranked ODAC pitching staff in Roanoke. And Morgan leads off, and he swings at the first pitch he sees, but drives it right to Watson for the first out. And now top of the order coming with Austin Batten. Batten, a home run hitter, 4 on the season. Leads the ODAC in home runs. Tranucci lays it, and Batten just trying to get on base, throws down the bunt, but it fouls out. No balls, 1 strike. Tranucci is not allowed a home run all season, only allowing 1 extra base hit as Batten, with a hard swing, fouls that one back for 2 quick strikes. On deck is Parker Meade. Batten can get on base. Meade can lay down a mean bunt. Outside for ball 1. Outside for ball 2. Tranucci really trying to paint that outside edge. Instead throws 3 balls after getting Batten into a quick 2-0 hole. And walks Batten. Can the Eagles score 4 runs with no hits? It starts off on the right foot.
If he gets this guy, we know he's real good chance. Now batting for the Eagles, Parker Mead.
Batten was picked off last time he was on base. Not as much as a lead this time around, but they're still going to check him. Mead puts that one down, finds its way into the glove of Hermanson, who throws out Batten at first. Mead gets down at, throws Batten out at second. Mead gets in safely with the fielder's choice at first. 2 outs, 4-run deficit as Chris King comes up. Mead with the good hit, thought he could find its way past Hermanson, but Hermanson with the beautiful dive to stop that, throws it over to Sumter and gets Batten out. 1 strike off that first pitch to King, 2 outs. Eagles 3, Roanoke 7. King swings hard at that one and fouls it back, 0-2. King swings at that, plays it over to Howard. Howard able to throw him out at first, and that's a win for Roanoke College. Roanoke scored 3 in the second, then 4 in the ninth. They scored their 4 in the ninth off of no hits. That's the real story here. When the Eagles needed to come up big in the ninth inning to maintain that tie, instead they allowed 4 runs off of no hits. Second game of this doubleheader will be starting momentarily as Roanoke starts their conference playoff with a win, and Bridgewater looks to avenge that loss in just a few minutes in the second of this doubleheader. Some solid pitching by Chad Lenz today and Matt Franklin. Both had the longest stints on their team. The problem started coming once the reserve started coming in, but we'll see how both teams do and how both teams respond to that first game that was back and forth. Some stellar play by Bridgewater that just finished with some mental errors, capped off by that error on that routine double play. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second of these 2 games. And welcome back as we get ready for this second game of the doubleheader with the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins facing off against the home team Bridgewater Eagles. We have the starting lineups here for you. Leading off for the Marlins, Kirsten Richardson. Number 20, Madison Glaubeck at left field. In the third spot, Cassidy Howren. Fourth spot, Caitlin Biando. Then Jessica Lindsay is the designated player. Deja Bergie is behind the plate, getting the start at catcher. Mariah Weddle over in right field. Julia Sinnott on third, and Beth Ford out in the field in center. And flex position, Carla Hall, the starting pitcher for the Marlins. Carla Hall, a solid 1.97 ERA. 6-0 on the season in her 8 games started. She's had 17 appearances, 2 complete games, no shutouts. She's allowed 14 earned runs on the season. And your starting lineup for the Bridgewater Eagles. Lindsay Talley leads off, followed by Stephanie Carroll. Designated player Brianna Orley in the third spot. Cleanup Katie Murrout, Mariah Wharton, Anna Patterson, Jessica Dawson, Sydney Lehman, Morgan Landaz, and your flex position, Ryan Kurtner. Starting pitcher for the Eagles in the circle is Patterson. Anna Patterson, a 4.29 ERA. 2 for 3 on the season. She's had 9 appearances, 6 starts, 2 complete games. She's allowed 19 earned runs on the season, 8 strikeouts, 12 walks, not allowed a home run. And she allows a 300 batting average for the opposing batter she faces. Eagles dropped the last game 5-3 as they moved to 15-20 on the season. They moved to 3-12 in conference. Virginia Wesleyan was able to bounce back from their loss they had in the game before. Moved to 36-1 on the season. They're now 14-1 in conference play. Bridgewater has very slim postseason hopes still here. They can pull this one away from Virginia Wesleyan and sweep Lynchburg in their next doubleheader. They have a chance of sliding into that 8th spot in ODAC postseason play, but got to get the win here as Richardson leads off for the Marlins as she fouls that, bounces it off her own leg. Called foul, strike 1. Eagles last game showed that they were able to slow down the Marlins attack, a team that can score runs and score runs in a hurry. They have 258 runs, 263 runs actually on the season, behind 30 home runs. Solid batting average as a team. They've only allowed 57 runs on the season. As Richardson fouls that one back for strike 2. Eagles defense was able to keep them somewhat at bay, and the Eagles offense was able to strike a couple times. However, they weren't able to make that final push for the comeback. But the Eagles look to take what they learned in that first game and put it towards this second one here and possibly pull away and get something going as Patterson has the count at 2-2. Richardson gets under that one, drives it over to Landez. Landez gets to start over in left field today. In this second game, Carlita Tibbs was there last game, but Morgan Landez gets to start in this second of the doubleheader. Morgan Landez, a freshman from Broadway, Virginia. I went to Broadway High School. As number 20, Madison Glawback, up to bat. Glawback getting the start today in left field. That's where she found herself last game as well. Glawback, one of the best hitters in the ODAC, 2-time ODAC Player of the Week so far this season. About a 4.1 batting average. However, did not have a solid game last time out. I believe she went 0 for 3. As she powers that one up to Kurtner. Kurtner gets it over to Dawson, who gets the out. 2 outs for the Eagles. Howard, who had a good game in the first of this doubleheader, looking to continue that success here. First time up this game. Patterson finds a strike zone there with 2 outs. The count is 2-1. And Howard powers it to Lehman. Lehman can't corral that one down as it flies past her mitt. Howard gets down for a single. She continues her hot day at the plate with another hit. Howard showed she wasn't afraid to start running either when she gets on base, so watch for Wharton to be prepared to pick her off there at second. Blown right back to second, and that's just an easy tag out there for Kurtner as Caitlin Biando drives it back up. And the Marlins, after 1 inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left on as we head to the bottom of the first with leading off for the Eagles, number 7, Lindsay Talley. And we're back at Folk Field in this second game of this doubleheader with ODAC conference action. With Lindsay Talley leading off for the Eagles as they look to split this series with a win here. Hall getting the start in this second game today for the Marlins. Hall a solid 1.97 ERA. Just 27 strikeouts on the season compared to the 230 by Hannah Hall, the starter in that first game. Lindsay Talley fouls that one off. Counts 1-2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Eagles struggle to get offense going early on in their innings. Most of their scores coming with 2 outs. And they look here to kind of get their leadoff people on base early and get something going rather than having to rely on those 2-out rallies. As that is high for ball 3. You can't really do much against this Marlins team if all you can do is rely on your 2-out rallies. As that finds the outside for ball 4. No matter how you get on base, a leadoff on base is what you want, as we're just talking about getting people on as quick as possible. And now Stephanie Carroll, who had herself a game in that hot corner at third base last game, looks to get going here at the plate as she watches that go by for strike 1. Little mishap there at the plate. It looked like it hopped its way in, and then Talley looked like she wanted to go to second, and as Burgee was trying to get up and get it, she hit the umpire. Talley probably could have made it to second in time, but instead hesitated just that step and stays at first as the count is now 2-1. for Carla Hall. Carroll swings hard at that one, drives it foul. Carroll gets that one as well, drives it over, and that one finds itself into the dugout. And Carroll gets that one down, finds its way into the gap between center and right, and that's going to send one home. And Carroll's going to get down for a double tally, scores, and the Eagles take a quick 1-0 lead. Carroll able to find the gap between Ford and Weddle, and it finds its way to the back fence. Carroll gets down for a double with an RBI. What a way to start the game with no outs. And now up to bat, Brianna Horley. Bad throw there from the catcher to second. But Carroll decided to dive back into second, and because of that, she couldn't get up and turn it to get to third. Inside there, ball two. Quick three balls at this batter. This is not the way the Marlins wanted Carla Hall's outing to start. So they only have one other pitcher they utilize who's only seen the field 11 times this season. Quick talk between Burgee and Hall to try to calm her down and get her to find her stuff in that circle. She's already allowed one earned run with a runner on second, and she finds herself in the hole against Horley. Horley's going to wait for her pitch as she has the batter's count, 3-1. Don't want to force anything and possibly turn into a double player. Something not good as she takes the pitch, takes the walk, and gets herself to first. Katie Murhout up to bat. Murhout shows bunt, but pulls it back for ball one. Murhout gets a piece of that. It goes foul. And chasing it down was Glaubeck. She was full sprinting to it, but just unable to get there in time. Some good contact, though, there by Murhout. As it looked promising there for a second, but then found its way foul. Murhout gets another piece of that one, passes it over to first base to Cassidy Howard, who gets the out. First out of this inning for the Eagles.
Catcher Mariah.
Inside for strike one to Mariah Wharton, the starting catcher today. She got the start in that first game, getting the start here today. The second game.
Swings hard through that one. Morales tries to lay down the bunt, gets some contact on it. And because of that, there's a foul on the bunt, strikeout. 2 outs. 2 on for Anna Patterson here. Patterson, the starting pitcher. Patterson solid in the circle. Patterson gets contact on that, but pops it onto the dugout for the Marlins. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. Inside for ball 3. Patterson with the quick feet to get out of the way of that one. And Patterson pops that one up. Foul, drops foul as Sinnott, Hall, and Burgee all converged on it to try and get it, but just dropped right in front of all 3 of them. Full count, 2 outs for Patterson. Patterson gets a hold of that one, drives it over to Globak, who's there to make the catch. Good contact there by Patterson, but a solid play there by Globak to make the catch over there in left field. And we head to the top of the second after the Eagles score 1, leave 2 on behind 1 hit. Eagles look to continue their strong start here as we head to the top of the second from Falk Field.